we've got brand new details about Halo Wars and new gameplay footage of Street Fighter 4.
Plus, we review Grid, the out-of-control racer from Codemasters, and go all access with the high-flying action of Dark Void. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the show that was not filmed in front of a live studio audience, safer that way. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. We're coming to you from the G4 studios in Los Angeles on Tuesday, June 10th.
Now, later on today's show, Pro Gamer T-Squared has all the tips you need to master Call of Duty 4's Sniper Paradise. You'll learn the ins and outs of the variety map pack's Creek. But first, we've got all of today's top stories in our gaming update.
Square Enix and Namco Bandai have revealed new details regarding their latest batch of RPGs for the Xbox 360. Microsoft held a press conference in Japan where it was announced that Star Ocean: The Last Hope will be released on the Xbox 360 in 2009. Publisher Namco Bandai announced Tales of Vesperia, which will be released in Japan and in North America this August. Gamers in Japan will also be able to pick up Vesperia in a 20-gigabyte Xbox 360 bundle, while a demo for the game is expected to appear on Xbox Live in the near future. Square Enix also announced their plans to release Last Remnant on the Xbox 360 before any other platform, and gamers will get the chance to discover Infinite Undiscovery this September when the game sees a worldwide release. Next up, US magazine GamePro has revealed new information regarding Ensemble Studios' upcoming RTS game, Halo Wars. The game will feature a 2-player online co-op campaign mode, as well as support for 6 players in a versus multiplayer match over Xbox Live. Gamers can look forward to battling Covenant forces again this October. Believe it or not, video games were one of the highlights at Apple's 2008 Worldwide Developer Conference. After unveiling the highly anticipated 3G-enabled iPhone, Apple allowed Sega to demonstrate their tilt-controlled Super Monkey Ball iPhone game. The game will feature 110 unique stages and will be available for $10 through Apple's application store. Several other games are expected to be available for the iPhone for the same price when Apple launches the App Shop on July 11th. While we are looking forward to trying out these new handheld games, we're already a bit tired of all the bloggers who are claiming the iPhone will be a Nintendo DS killer. Next, Crysis developer Crytek has announced that after releasing their PC-exclusive Crysis Warhead, they'll be turning their focus to releasing all of their new projects on multiple platforms. These changes are believed to be linked to the status of the overall PC gaming market and Crytek's ability to run their graphically impressive CryEngine on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, a technical feat that was demonstrated for the first time at this year's GDC. Well, that's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check out our website, g4tv.com/xplay. But now let's go over to Morgan, who's been known to shoot fireballs from her hands.
Once in a while, mixed martial arts and cage fighting have pretty much taken over America, but if you long for a day when fights didn't consist of 2 guys grappling on the ground forever, Capcom's got you covered. Street Fighter 4 is almost here, and we've got your all-access look at what to expect.
Lots of new info came from Capcom's Captivate 08 event, but Street Fighter fans in particular learned almost everything there is to know about the hotly anticipated Street Fighter 4. We talked to producer Yoshinori Ono to find out how Street Fighter 2 has influenced the newest installment.
What we're trying to do is get the essence of Street Fighter 2 out of it. The low barrier to entry, the moves and characters we remember, the speed and responsiveness of controls. It's certainly not Street Fighter 2. It moves at a different speed, but it certainly feels like Street Fighter 2. It's very deliberate, and I think the best compliment someone can give us when they sit down to play this game is to say, wow, this feels like Street Fighter 2.
All 12 original Street Fighter 2 fighters are returning for the 4th installment, with 4 new characters joining.
If you look at Street Fighter 3, it was just Ryu and everybody else was new. A lot of people started playing and saying, are you kidding? I have to memorize everyone all over again? So we decided that 4 is a pretty good number, the maximum amount of characters you'll be able to handle memorizing in a new game.
Crimson Viper and Abel were revealed earlier this year, and Ono-san has introduced us to the remaining newbie duo.
We have El Fuerte, a wacky wrestler chef guy. He's very kinetic, bounces all over the screen. You don't know what he's going to do next. Very fun to play as, but kind of a pain to play against if you don't know what he's capable of. Last but not least is Rufus, who just looks like some kind of crazy fat guy carrying a box of popcorn around. And you think this guy is useless as a fighter, but then you see him move and realize he's actually quite skilled. Each character has a rival, and they have things called destined battles. If you're going to play as Crimson Viper, Chun-Li could be considered her rival, and they have a storyline connection. And with Rufus, he has taken it upon himself to declare himself the rival of Ken Masters, and he thinks he's as good a fighter as Ken. So when those two fight, sparks fly.
Look for Street Fighter 4 to hit arcades this summer and home consoles sometime in the undisclosed future. Street Fighter 4 has definitely got a lot of people excited, like me, and it looks like it has the potential to be the best in the series. In today's X List, we run down the competition, the 5 best Street Fighter games to date. Coming in at number 5 is Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. You can find this one in most arcades and on Xbox Live. It's pretty much the definitive version of Part 2.
Number 4 is Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. This version allowed you to play as prancing Spaniards and even make the universe collapse by fighting your doppelganger. Number 3 is Street Fighter Alpha 2. Basically, it's the better version of Alpha 1. Have we lost you yet?
Coming in at number 2 is Street Fighter Alpha 3. It just took the awesomeness of 2 and added more characters. That's how you make a game better. More stuff.
But our favorite one is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. It's easily the most balanced game, has a parry system, and the graphics are great. However, we will forget your existence once Part 4 is out. Sorry.
While the box doesn't make mention of this, Grid is the latest Toka racing game from Codemasters. Unlike other racers, this one has full-on persistent damage modeling and a unique instant replay feature. But is that enough to warrant a purchase? Our review says yes, and then some. With Gran Turismo, Burnout, and Mario Kart eating up our drive time, who needs another racing franchise? Well, I have bad news for your wallet. There's a fantastic new game on the market, and its name is Grid.
I've known this guy for years. He's bad news. Watch your tailpipe.
Ew. This game comes from veteran studio Codemasters, also responsible for the reliable Toka franchise. This is sort of an offshoot of that series, and it's a perfect refinement of its elements. The main focus of the game is the Grid World mode, where you enter international races, earn sponsorships, and buy new cars.
This driver's slump is about to end. Don't underestimate him.
Graphically, Grid doesn't disappoint. It looks great running on high-def systems, and the clean, sharp graphics make you feel like you're actually at the track. And that's good, because you'll want to savor every ding, dent, and scrape you inflict on other cars. Unlike stodgier racing games, Grid features very realistic car damage. There's nothing quite as satisfying as ruining your enemy's bumper. I hope that guy has a high deductible. Our only tiny gripe is that it features deeply cheesy product placement in the form of an eBay screen that lets you buy and sell your cars. Granted, lots of titles feature some sort of commercialization these days, but in a game that's as fun as Grid, it just feels out of place. But you know a game is pretty great when that's the biggest complaint we have. Other racers might have more options, but Grid is all about pure racing fun. It's everything we love about being behind the wheel, minus the traffic and those annoyingly strict vehicular manslaughter laws. Grid is a 5 out of 5.
Game looks amazing, and I'm not going to be surprised if it ends up at the G4 Awards this year. But if you want to avoid protests, talks of economic sanctions, and the occasional brush with genocide, the best way to experience the Beijing 2008 Summer Games might be from your couch. Sega's set to release a game putting you in the shoes of an Olympic hopeful. With the game's release only weeks away, we sat down with the real athletes gracing the game's cover.
Faster. Higher.
World record!
Stronger. This is the video game of the games of the 24th Olympiad from Beijing, China. And this is the cover shoot for Beijing 2008.
What's really cool is they're taking 4 athletes who hopefully and will be competing in the Summer Olympics. And we get to do a fun little photo shoot for the cover of the game, and we're getting a bunch of different athletes from different disciplines, and it should be a beautiful cover.
It certainly will be, Amanda Beard, if you're involved. Not only did these athletes pose for the cover and enjoy some free sandwiches and salad, they also got some FaceTime with Beijing 2008.
I'm hoping after this gets done, we have a little free time so me and Reese can battle it out a little bit.
Can you take him, Reese Hoffa? Are you man enough? Are you Olympian enough?
Yes!
Reese Hoffa is a big gamer. You want proof?
Over! I have seen this on G4 Network.
Spoken like a true Olympian.
Over! Yes!
I definitely think that this video game will hopefully inspire a lot more, young kids to get up out there and try to do gymnastics or swimming or go run, and it's a lot, I think, in my opinion, it's a lot better than the other video games.
But what's more important, the Olympics or the Olympic video game?
With the video game, I don't feel a lot of pressure about it. It's just more of a fun thing, and just to get really excited about the Olympics. I have a little more stress and pressure around that.
We'll find out exactly how much pressure when the Olympics start in August, and even more importantly, when Beijing 2008, the video game, comes out in just a few weeks. Until then, let's hope these Olympians crown their good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Someone better hope those guys make the cut. Well, we've got to take a quick break, but first, take a shot on today's poll question. Which of these activities should be added to the Olympics? A, Guitar Hero, B, MMA fighting, or C, Wii bowling? Head on over to g4tv.com/xplay and tell us what you think. We'll be right back.
Coming up on X-Play, pro gamer T-Squared's got your tips on how to survive one of Call of Duty 4's most dangerous maps. Learn how to become the king of Creek. Then, the Force is strong in this one. We've got the all-new Soul Calibur 4 trailer featuring Darth Vader's secret apprentice. Plus, we hit the skies for a look at the high-flying action of Capcom's Dark Void. All that and more right after this. This portion of X-Play is brought to you by the Bourne Conspiracy, in stores now.
Stick around, I just might barf. Filter begins in 60 seconds. Hey everybody, I'm Olivia Munn, and the world throws so much stuff at you, you need a filter. When you work in Hollywood, you see more than your share of vomit. Trust me, that's true. Here's my list of the top 3 foods for horking. At number 3, pasta. Yeah. From penne to fettuccine, noodles come up as easy as they go down. At number 2 on my list, corn. Yeah. Those little yellow kernels add such playful texture. And finally, my number 1 food for vomiting, yogurt. Yeah. I just like the fruit flavors for a fun pastel palette. Check out G4's new show, Hurl, premiering July 15th, right after our live E3 coverage. And visit me on the web at g4tv.com/filter. Until next time, I'm Olivia Munn, and I gotta live.
E4. Of all the locations in Call of Duty 4's variety map pack, Creek could present the most problems. It's got one hell of a bottleneck and plenty of spots for you to get sniped and have no idea how it happened. If you want to make it out alive, you should listen to these pro tips from T-Squared.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor.
But you know me as T-Squared.
T-Squared.
I'm part of the MLG team, straight ripping. I've got the Call of Duty 4 tips.
Call of Duty 4 tips
that'll have you fragging like a pro. So you download the variety map pack, but you feel like you're up Creek without a paddle. Here's a couple of spots for Creek that'll help you annihilate the competition. If you're lucky enough to start at the top of the map, head to this tree for cover. It blocks you from enemies and allows you to see the creek bed below. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. If you end up starting at the bottom, head straight for the sandbag. These give you protection while still providing a good field of vision for killing. And I love killing.
UAV recon standing by.
Another spot you can play hide and kill at is under the dock. It's dark, it's dank, and it's the perfect spot to take out stupid noobs.
UAV recon standing by.
And finally, headphones. If you play any first-person shooter, you have to have them.
One threat standing by.
This pays off in Creek when you're up on this hill. You can hear the rocks falling behind you if someone's sneaking up. You don't have to always see them coming to get the drop on your opponent. Follow these tips and you'll be prestiging again in no time.
Soul Calibur 4 has divided fans by making Star Wars icons Darth Vader a console-exclusive character for the PS3 and Yoda for the 360. Now everyone can quit their crying because both systems will receive a new Star Wars character, though this one's still unproven. Here's your first look at the new trailer for Soul Calibur 4. Features Starkiller, the protagonist of this fall's The Force Unleashed.
Calibur 4.
All right, when X-Play returns, we experience the nausea-inducing vertical action of Capcom's new sci-fi action title, Dark Void. But first, here's who's galactically dominant in today's leaderboard for Aces of the Galaxy.
Conrad, you Kudeski.
Stay out of the sun with G4 all summer long.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, earlier in the show, we asked you which of these activities should be added to the Olympics. Our judges from East Germany have tallied the votes, and the current leader is Guitar Hero with 46%. But you have to perform Dragon Forces through the fire and flames for a gold medal, so good luck to you.
Let's clear up the confusion right now. Dead Space is EA's super gory horror game, and Dark Void is Capcom's sci-fi shooter from the people who brought you Crimson Skies. Despite the latter's lack of gore, it does feature insane, dizzying air combat. So either way, I suspect you might want to bring a barf bag. Here's your all-access look at Dark Void. One game that really intrigued us at Capcom's recent press event is Dark Void. It comes from Airtight Studios, which consists of many ex-developers of the 2003 critical hit Crimson Skies. The game tells the story of humanity's battle against a mysterious threat known rather cryptically as the Watchers. To learn how Dark Void pulls off mid-air combat, we turn to Capcom's director of design, Craig Kujawa.
Vertical covers, you're able to leap from ledge to ledge, you're able to jetpack up ledges, you're able to pull enemies down from ledges. The great thing about vertical cover is that it's a perilous situation. You have to be very careful.
Plot details are scarce, but Kujawa revealed that you'll play as a character named Will, who crash lands in the Bermuda Triangle.
He starts with a hover pack, which changes the rules of combat quite a bit. Then he's able to upgrade over time to a jetpack, and then a couple other things that we have in store.
Every time you upgrade your technology, the gameplay changes significantly.
The other thing that's interesting is as you acquire new tech, it also changes the way that you can navigate the battlefield. So, you know, a hover pack, I can kind of drift around and kind of re-engage enemies in different ways, but a jetpack, of course, changes that completely when I can actually fly over big chasms, fly through them.
The goal of everyone at Airtight is to make sure the players have a wide variety of choice.
We just had someone play one of the levels yesterday, and he found a completely new path that we hadn't thought about. I think when you play Dark Void, everyone's experience is going to be a little bit different.
But we have bad news for Crimson Skies fans who are desperately waiting for a sequel. Dark Void apparently has no plot connections to that original Xbox title.
I don't think they set out to do a sequel for Crimson Skies. I think they really wanted to kind of try something new, and I think that's where Crimson Skies fans will really enjoy, is that, you know, if they like the gameplay in that game, they'll really feel it come through. These guys are so good at making flight combat.
Yes, they are. Capcom hasn't announced exactly which systems it's hitting, but believe us, we'll have our full review for you when Dark Void comes out this winter.
Unaware of the existence of DVRs? No worries. The X-Play Replay will save the day. Earlier, we reviewed Grid. This is a great racing game that rides the line between being overly complex yet simple enough not to scare off beginners. Graphically, it is a powerhouse, and the cars actually hold their damage. It is a 5.
Tomorrow on X-Play, we've got a special all-cheat episode devoted to the year's biggest game, Grand Theft Auto 4. You'll find out how to avoid capture, details on achievements, and everything you ever need to know about the Liberty City crime saga. Then, on Thursday, get ready for the best of the best. We're counting down the top 8 of 08, the best games released so far this year. And on Friday, we go beyond the King of Kong for a special episode at 9 p.m. to find out what happened after the movie ended. Only X-Play catches up with Steve Wiebe and gets new details on Hollywood's adaptation of the documentary into a feature film. Plus, find out once and for all, is Billy Mitchell really that big of a D-bag? We've got the interview. You don't want to miss it.
All right, thanks so much for watching.
Bye.